All right, very quickly, because I promised the lines. When the eagle is seen on the moon, part of the
Really
Hopi...
interesting facts. Really interesting. Um, it isn't quite as mysterious as that. I have had my eye on the Hopi for some time because I've been looking at the geophysics. If I have a very, how should I say, at one sense, utilitarian view of the usefulness of science. I think science should be in service to mankind, to humankind. And the idea that we could develop a physics, decode these monuments, decode a physics, and then not put it to use seemed to me kind of silly.
Right.
And as we went through this, I began to realize that there were certain predictions in the physics that said that because of the current configuration of the solar system, and as you go through certain geometries of the planets relative to each other and to the sun over very long periods of time, tens of thousands of years, you might run into problems. And then I began to look at our kind of map of this and reflect on, the Hopi prophecies and the other ancient material from ethnic cultures around the world, and I began to see a possible relationship between our predictions and their data. And then when I met some of them at the United Nations here in New York, that's the one advantage of being here in New Jersey, you're close to New York, I realized I really needed to have a quiet conversation, so I arranged to get copies of the UN briefing on Mars into their hands. And when I was in Albuquerque recently, I met with Thomas Benyaka, who is the Hopi spokesperson of the prophecies. And we agreed that at some point in the near future, I would come out and spend some time. And they agreed to bring some other folks, elders together, and we're going to sit down and have a quiet conversation.
That's going to be
with
fascinating.
no ground rules. We'll just kind of
fascinating.
explore.